Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to learn and see how we can work with create text with GPT with AI Builder, and we are going to take a use case of doing a company's review and doing the sentiment analysis on those company review and storing them in turn into a file so that it can be used. So we are going to take help of desktop flows as we are going to write a no-code solution for it. We are just going to do a web scraping, web extraction of the content, and then we will pass that input to our AI builder with a create text with GPT action. And then in a response, we are expecting some sentiment analysis, and that in turn can be stored. So that's we are going to learn today. So I am right now into my make.powerautomate.com and I am into desktop flows. And if you haven't installed the desktop flows previously, then you would able to install it using this Power Automate for desktop. And once you launch it, it will launch as a desktop application rather than browser. So if I click on it, it will do the installation. And once the installation is done, then you would able to open the Power Automate desktop. So once it's downloaded, you can click on this one and it will open the installer and it will be Power Automate desktop would be installed. So right now I just directly open my Power Automate desktop and which will show the screen as home, my flows and shared with me. And over here it will show the environment. So from the environment you are launching your Power Automate desktop flow. So it will show that environment. And as I said, like we are going to work with the web extraction and we are going to extract the data for our product reviews, the product review shared by our customers, and we'll be analyzing that it's positive, negative or neutral. So I'll just start creating one new flow and I'll name that flow as review analysis flow. So I have this screen open where I have this main section where I can add my actions, and I'll close this so that we can have a better area to work on. So now, as I said, like we are going to do a web scraping first of all, which will fetch the data, which will get the data and add the data into rows for us so that this process can be automated. So whenever I run my flow, like my product should be launched in the browser and should be extracted, all the reviews should be extracted. And second step, we are going to work on create a text with GPT. So I'll just show you how create text with GPT work. So if I type in, let's say, GPT, then I have this AI preview, builder preview, and I can, for now, I can drop this into my main area, and you can see I get instructions. So for creating instruction, this create instruction button is there. So if I click on this, I get a lot of template out of it. So I can summarize the text, whatever input is being given to it. I can respond to a complaint. I can create blog posts, extraction information from out of the text, classify and sentiment analysis for text, and many other. So based on your use cases, you can try your use case. And for now, I am going to choose sentiment analysis for text, and I get this pre-built template added to my this text area. And you can see I have this start of text, include your text over here, and end of text. So let's test this prompt first of all. So I'll just say I am making a video and I am excited. So I'll just test it out, what sentiment I would get out of my text, input text. So the response is sentiment is positive, possible subject making a video, the excitement could be related to the process of creating video, personal achievement, something like that. So we are going to use this create text with GPT, and I'll just do again, I'll just use the instruction into my flow. So once I save it, so it will save my output into these two variables, predict v2 response, which will have the entire JSON, and this predict text response, which would be having the text output text, which can be passed into text later on in the later stages. If I want to just store the response as is, then I can use this predict v2 text response variable. So this we are going to actually take a look in a while. So I am just going to save this, and before that as soon as I save, you got this error that a display message input should be associated with it. So it requires one display message dialog or display message to be associated, so that we can have this we can have the output visible to the users. So what we are going to do, we are going to just write a review message or the sentiment message, whatever, and text to display nothing, but it would be the output of my previous create text with GPT. Message icon none, click button OK, first button is fine, like there are three default buttons. Keep the message box always on top or close message automatically. So this we are going to turn on, but right now I'm not doing it. So I'll just keep it like this, and let's run it again so that I can get a message box with that sentiment. So I just ran it and it gave me unknown because I think our instruction got removed. Yes, so that's why it's unknown. You can write in your again test uh, uh, good happy morning, and I'll just save, run it. Now you should say some positive or negative response or the sentiment. So let's wait. Sentiment is positive. The possible subject is good happy morning, so it's fine. So this set we are going to take a look in a while. Before that, what I am going to do, I'll just create one subflow. This subflow I would just say extract reviews, and in this one we are going to do a we are going to launch our browser, go to our product page where the actual product reviews we want to extract, and then save them into one data table. So I'll just start using launch my browser, and this would be Chrome browser, and I can associate with the attached to the new one or attached to a running instance. So I'll just say attached to a running instance, and by title tab. So this is one of the page which is already open. I can just show you that page. So it's nothing but one Amazon page with a shoe product, and it's having multiple reviews. So we are going to just extract these reviews out of it and then use them into our this variable. So I'll just use this page and timeout, that's fine, and we are going to just save it. And the next step we are going to do a web scraping, as I said. So we are going to use this web extraction data from the web page, and this would be the browser instance would be more from my previous section browser. Timeout 60 seconds fine, and store data model into my this variable so that I can use this variable to iterate again. So I can rename this variable to, let's say, Amazon product reviews, or your product names reviews. It's fine, and this would be data table. Whatever we are going to extract, this would have it. So as soon as I open this my action again, it launched that web extraction helper, and I'll just drag it to the right so that we can start extracting. So first of all, I need to extract the reviewer name. I'll just say text, extract text, and then I would try to extract the rating, and I'll just say text, and then the actual comment about it, because we are going to do a sentiment analysis on this comment. So this comment I am again going to extract by right click and then extract element. I'll do this for the second also, so that it can understand that it's a table, not just one input line. I'll do this text extraction again, and as you see, like it's a smart to extract this everything which is beneath it in a table. So if I just scroll down, it extracted whatever I could see on the page. I can actually go to the next page so that it can add those reviews to this data table which it's creating. So I'll just say see more. So once I say finish, and save. Then it will save my this reviews, whatever reviews I have loaded into my this Amazon product reviews data table. So right now we are good with the web scraping. We extracted the data, and now getting to the main flow again. So in this one, so as in first step, I have to extract reviews so that I can pass the review content or the review main content to my create text with GPT action. I'll just open and do a run subflow, and subflow it will just give me this one extraction flow because I don't have other subflow. So I'll just say run subflow, which is extraction as first step, and the second step I am going to pass the content or the review extracted review to create GPT, but that should happen in a for each, so that it can review or it can provide me sentiment rating for against each review. So I'll just say for each, and in for each I am going to use the for each for Amazon product reviews this table, create one current item which can be passed as in the text can be passed as in review. So I'll select both and then drag inside this my for each loop so that we can pass the input. And now I'll just open this create text with GPT, and will replace the content from our test content to the actual content from our variable, which is Amazon product review, and the review, the table which we have, the column which we want to pass is column number 2, and which is actually a big review written or the comments, actual comments. So I'm just passing that. And in display message, now because it's multiple display message, we don't want every message to be clicked to close the window. So what we are going to do, we are just going to do this close message box automatically and timeout as 0, so that it can just automate the creation of or the sentiment analysis and then just get out of this loop. So later on, like once I get the analysis done, I need to write the entire new table with the sentiments into a new, let's say, CSV file. So I am going to create a table, so I need one more action, that is create table. So I'll just say create data table as in second step. I'll select the name, so you can define the name. So I'll just say name, the person who is reviewing it, and the actual sentiment I would say, or review I can say, and I'll just save it. So only 2 columns I wish to have my into the output table, and I'll name that as final review with sentiment, and save it. So now I have this new table created. Now we are going to write or append whatever we get from our predict v2 as response from GPT. So I'll just create or add one more action, that is insert row to the table, and this table is our final review with sentiment. And values we are going to write, the values from the existing table. We are going to extract the item or the name from the current item. I'll just say like this, and this item would be our 0th, the name, and then we are going to write the predict the output from our predict response, so which is nothing but we predict v2 text response, this one. I'll just write this and close this. This is our table. So now we are done by creating our data table. Now I just need to write that to a CSV file. So I'll just say create CSV file, or I'll just search for CSV activity, create a write to a CSV file after our for each loop, and that variable to write. So we are going to write the final review sentiment, and the path we can, I'll just pick up one of the path. I'll just This is one of the existing file which is in this folder, and I will select that it should overwrite to that file or append to that file. You can decide. Include column names, I'll say include column names, and then overwrite existing file and separators by default comma separated file. I'll just drag that to the out of R for each so that we can write it later on once entire processing is done. So first step, run web extraction, elements, extract elements, loop through all the elements, pass that input to the create text with GPT, store that into a table, and then write that table to our CSV file. So very simple for automate. I'll just save it, and we are going to just take a test run. So now it's iterating through our loop and it's going fine. And if you look at the flow variables, it's increasing. I have 4 rows now. Now I have 5 rows in final review. And lately it tried writing to our CSV file and export failed. And the reason is like we haven't specified the file name but only the folder. So we can just specify the actual file name. So I'll just say file is one.csv, and we'll quickly run it and we'll be all set. So now the flow is completed and we have our new file created, which is just now created. And if I open this CSV file, you'll be finding the name and that each customer name and their sentiment. The sentiment of the text is negative, sentiment of text is positive, and everything is being written, iterating through that entire web page. So this is how we can leverage the create text with GPT for analyzing the company or product reviews or whatever reviews you want to have. And there, as I said, like initially, there are multiple use cases. As I shown you, you can extract the summary out of your big content or extracting the input values so that we can use. So this could be a advantageous feature, I would say, like where you can try to extract, do a sentiment analysis without writing a single line of code, and doing the entire web extraction and then saving that into CSV. So that is it for today's video. If you have questions, then please do drop your comments. I'll try to answer, and do subscribe. Thank you.